Hey, it's Jen Hummel here to do our weekly read log. The book that I chose this week from the Orbis Pictus Award winners was Balloons Over Broadway. The author and illustrator of this book is Melissa Sweet. The book is a picture storybook slash historical fiction. It is approximately 40 pages and its appropriate age is ages 4 and up. The main character in this book is actually Tony Sarge. And the book, in this book, his character begins as a small boy who is creating um, or building things such as marionettes. In fact, he even, created this contraption, pulley contraption um, system to help do his chores. The illustrations in this story are made up of collages. They do take up a majority of the page, and but like I said, a collage-like layout is actually a pretty neat layout, and definitely something you should pick up the book and definitely look at it. I don't have the book today. I've been doing ebooks, so um, the plot of the story is Tony, as a small child, creating these marionettes, or like I said, the pulley contraption. His dad gave him the chore of feeding the chickens each morning um, before school, and so he came up with this pulley type system so that he could feed the chickens without ever leaving the room. And his dad was so impressed that he actually never assigned him any other chores from there on out. And he continued to do this and come up with these things. And as he became older, he went overseas and realized they didn't have anything like this and began creating these marionettes and became very well known for them. And as he came home, he went to work for Macy's, and his first job there was actually creating these, I don't want to call them electronic, but these marionettes that were kind of ran by the interior gears so that they would move. Um, and they were in the Macy's window display. And eventually they came to him and asked him to help create these marionettes for the Thanksgiving parade that they put on for their employees. And the first year, he did create these marionettes much larger in size and in scale that were controlled by long sticks. And after the first parade, and they realized that they were just very heavy, they were very hard to control by doing it this way. And because the parade was such a hit, it became a tradition. And so he kind of went back to the drawing board and came up with a plan to build these balloons out of kind of rubberized silk so that they were light and they would be controlled by long ropes and people from the ground, and they would be filled with helium. Um, and so then the next year, after long work and anticipation for it, huge success, and he's just very well known for that. The setting in the story was, there at Macy's and warehouses. Of course, overseas, as he was creating these marionettes, even in his house as a child, where he created the pulley system. And the overall theme is kind of to learn to love what you do, and therefore it isn't considered work, it's kind of considered play, but to really just enjoy and love and have a passion for the work that you do and the things that you create. And then the interactions were really good. In my opinion, the main interactions were between Sarge and his creations, whether it's the marionettes or the balloons. But he did work with others as well to create, these huge marionettes and or balloons um, to to help create this wonderful thing that we still enjoy today as the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Definitely a book that I would read to my students and or suggest to them. I think I, you know, everybody knows what the Thanksgiving Day Parade is. I'm sure everyone's watched it. It's something that I enjoyed watching as a child, and now still enjoy watching it with my own children. So definitely great lesson in there that it's important to love what you do so that it's not thought of as work. Um, And then, of course, for an activity, I kind of chose a couple of different ones. If I was working with a smaller group of children, I would give each child a balloon filled with helium and a long ribbon, and they would be creating this, a character by drawing on it. And then we would parade these balloons through some of the various classrooms throughout the school, letting them know that we'd read The Balloons Over Broadway to kind of understand why we were doing this and that these were their creations, the balloons that they created. If I was working with a larger group, I would have them um, write papers on comparison and contrast from the original balloons that Sarge created and the present day balloons that you see in the parades today. And then I would have them present those to the class with my oral presentation. And again, my book was Balloons Over Broadway by Melissa Sweet. Thank you.